Hi, fellow artists and art fans. Welcome back again. For those of you stopping by for the first time, I'm Anne from Anne Lorenc Art. And have you ever tried to draw a straight line and you get something like a little wiggly like this, or maybe like this? Would you like your lines to come out more like that? So today I'm going to demonstrate a couple tricks on how to draw a straight line without needing a ruler. Um, and I'm sorry, just bear with me. I am under the weather today. I just got diagnosed with COVID, so I'm a little tired, but I'm here for you. I'm going to do my best to do this tutorial for you, and then I will do a I'll do a more detailed video later for you guys. So anyway, couple different ways to make your straight lines. So one of the easiest ways to do it is if you take your hand, just making sure that that shows up, all right, and whichever hand you write with. Now, if you're left-handed, you'll want to do this the other way, but you're gonna excuse me, sorry, you're gonna put your hand down and you're gonna brace your wrist that you are drawing with onto your other wrist, and then from here, this will help keep your hand steady as you draw your line. Okay, and then um, that's one of the first tips. And if you're doing a vertical line, same thing. It's a little bit more awkward, but you could do this, and then you can draw your vertical line going up. And what this actually does is it kind of braces your hand, and then you can go ahead and, like, let's say you want to make a box, and you go. All right, so that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is, and you saw me using this technique even with this, I kind of combined the two as well, is that if you are drawing a vertical line, you want to draw up. So if you draw up, that is easier than if you draw down. You see how that line kind of wiggles a little bit. Now this is different if you're doing calligraphy. Calligraphy, when you're doing your lines, your vertical lines, they do have to go down. It's just the way that it works with the ink. But if you're drawing as much as you can, if you draw up, that would be easier. Also, if you're drawing a horizontal line, going from left to right. Oops, sorry, that one's a little crooked. Well, it's straight, but it's just going up. So, so horizontal line, you're going to come straight across this way. And I find that if I draw from left to right, it will make my line straighter. Now, if you're left-handed and that doesn't seem to work for you, try drawing from right to left. Just as an experiment, I'll try it. I'm not sure if I can do it because I don't usually use my left hand, but let's see if I'm doing, yeah, pretty much, yeah. So if you're left-handed, you might find it easier to draw from right to left. You can also turn the paper if you find it, like, going, making the vertical lines, to go, if you find the vertical lines easier than the horizontal lines, you can go ahead and just turn your paper. So like if I take my paper here and I want to make, say, a horizontal line here, but I feel like my horizontal lines aren't doing so well, I can always turn my paper, right? And then just draw straight up. Now, the other thing, which is kind of weird, is, well, it's not really weird. I don't find it weird, but all my teachers found this weird, is I do hold my pen a little differently than most people. I was talking this over with my cousin a couple weeks ago, so it was pretty interesting. I hadn't, realized this, but so when I'm holding my pen, right, and it's just natural for me to hold it this way, so I have to actually think about this now. So I have my three fingers here, and then this one bracing my, what's that, pointer finger is bracing the pen here. And then this way, this kind of gives my pinky a little bit of freedom, and I'll actually I'll actually use my pinky. Let me see if this is, yep, okay. I'll use my pinky to kind of brace for that straight line, you know, depending on, so if I'm not using my wrist, oh, sorry, that's a little bit, there we go. So if I'm not using my wrist, my pinky will do that. Now, I don't know. I'm not saying you should change the way that you write, because how you write is important. They've been trying to change the way I write for all the way through college, and did not let them win. I stuck with it, and I feel like I have more control this way. But I do believe that no matter how you hold your pen, that you can draw that straight line using that technique. Again, either bracing against your wrist here, or simply, you know, drawing up or drawing horizontally. The other key thing is practice. Yes, I know nobody really wants to practice, right? But you can make practice interesting. I'm not saying, you know, sit there and draw the same line, you know, 5,000 times or something like that. Okay, so you can, you know, you can practice. Like, let's say, and start small, you know, like, start with maybe a short line, right? And start practicing trying to make these like kind of little lines here, keep them straight, and then make them a little taller, and a little taller, and a little taller. And then, you know, you can also, like, let's say you make a triangle, okay? And then just fill in your triangle with straight lines, just as practice to give yourself a point to get to so it doesn't seem so far. But there's all different ways that you can, you know, and if you want to do your horizontal lines, you can make another triangle and just make your horizontal lines. And again, you know, uh, using that, either that left to right um, technique, or, you know, bracing your hand, you know, you can use a circle. Draw a circle and fill it in. Like, practice that line hatching. I'll leave a link in the description below to the line hatching vlog I did a couple weeks ago. And you can try different line hatching techniques and see, you know, get some practice drawing straight lines from that. And then, you know, you're getting, like in this case, this is, if you remember from the line hatching video, if you have seen it, it is black. So there's lots of different ways that you can practice drawing your straight lines. It does not have to be boring, but it is important to practice, because the more you practice, the more you will train your hand to draw that straight line. I very rarely use rulers anymore, for the simple fact, like, okay, so here's a ruler, right? And if you feel along the ruler, you'll feel that there are some, like, a little bit of a ridge here. So you'll feel this kind of ridge. So when I go to draw, right, so it does make a straight line, but sometimes it's, you know, it's hard to match that up with another point. Or it might, you know, if your ruler is slightly off, your line will go crooked. But some rulers have a, like, they're kind of make it a little bumpy. Most of mine don't particularly, but I very rarely use them anymore. Also, the other issue with rulers is, depending on the material that you use, like, let's say you're using a paintbrush or something, and you're trying to do your straight line. So I'm going to try ink, right? And so if I take my paintbrush, now this is a liner paintbrush, so it's meant to give you straight lines. But now if I take this, right, and I put some ink on here, oops, don't want my ink to go flying. All right, and I go to draw my line along the ruler. Let's see, I don't know if it will do this or not, but it might. Yeah, see, it kind of bleeds a bit. It does stay a little straighter, but it's not it's not the same. It kind of like bleeds through a little bit. Here, I'll show you with this one too. This is a shader brush. So I can go across and you can see like here it bled under a little bit. So with a ruler you have a little less control over that. They do work. I don't say, you know, I'm not saying you shouldn't use a ruler, but sometimes you just don't have one available. So hopefully, you know, those tips on drawing a straight line are helpful to you. And again, I apologize for my little bit of incoherence today. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know, you know, what you found helpful about it. If you'd like me to do a more detailed version on the line, like maybe some shorts on it or something. And until next time, happy adventuring in art. Bye!